Alright, we're going to do quotient rule. So you got product rule when two functions of x are being multiplied by each other. You got quotient rule when two functions of x are being divided. So if you have like y equals f of x over g of x, so product rule was 2d1 plus 1d2. Quotient rule, it's a fraction and there's a top and a bottom, but on top it's 2d1 minus 1d2. That's why I had you keep that, like do it in that order. So if you're looking at f and g, it's going to be g of x, which is the bottom, times the derivative of the top, minus, and put brackets here, the top times the derivative of the bottom, over the bottom squared. Bless you. If you think about this f and g as like 1 over 2, then it is 2d1 minus 1d2 over 2 squared. Now my only concern with that is don't think that that's 2 squared like it's 4. 2 is representing the bottom, so that means the bottom squared. And these are the same rule, I'm just writing them two different ways. Or, if you think about the top as high and the bottom as ho, just because it sounds funnier this way than if I do low, what's your derivative if I look at it that way? Ho d high minus high d ho over like ho squared. And so everyone remembers it different. I don't care if you're doing 2d1, 1d2, bottom, top, top, bottom, f and g, high d ho, whatever. But that's quotient rule. Whenever you have two things with an x and they're being divided, you can use quotient rule. So let's say y equals x plus 3 over 4x minus 5. And these can get, we're starting with the basics again, like we did with product rule. These can get really nasty. But we're just going to work on like the basic rule, and then we'll slowly start building stuff into it. So my derivative is it's 2d1, so it's the bottom times the derivative of the top. So 4x minus 5 times what's the derivative of the top here? It's 1, so it's not going to do anything. I'm going to write it just so you can see that it's there, but it won't change anything. Minus, and don't forget to put these brackets, because you got to subtract everything that's after this. The top times the derivative of the bottom, which is 4, all over the bottom squared. And now some people here would try to cancel out these 4x minus 5s, but remember you can't cancel unless it's in like all of your terms, and there's not a 4x minus 5 in this term, so you can't do that. All you can really do is simplify the top. When I give you guys or you look at the homework, the CUDA software will expand the bottom, so they'll make this into a trinomial. I don't want you to do that. I want you just to leave the bottom like it is, as whatever squared. And then we'll work on, you can simplify the top, but I don't care about the bottom. So the top would be 4x minus 5 minus 4x plus 12. Which, if I distribute that negative sign through, is really 4x minus 5 minus 4x minus 12. So a lot of people forget these parentheses, forget these brackets. So if you forgot those brackets, Like imagine if they weren't there, your 12 is positive, right? But when you put the brackets in like you're supposed to, your 12 is negative, and that obviously changes your answer. So make sure you have those brackets there. Then all we have left to do is combine like terms. These will just go away. So negative 17 over 4x minus 5 squared. And again, the answer sheet will expand that bottom, but don't do that. And then that's my derivative. What does that tell me? What's that represent? Slope. So I can have you do any of the same stuff as before, like find the slope at x equals 2, find the tangent line, find the normal line, and do all that stuff with it. We're not doing that today, but that's what's coming. Questions on this one? So I don't think these are too bad. Let's just do another one here to practice, and I'll get you guys going. Let's say x squared minus 2x over 3x plus 7. So you guys try that, and then I'll go through it. So I'm doing the bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom over the bottom squared. Remember, you're just leaving the bottom as squared. And you want to simplify the top. So this is like your 2 d1, and this is your 1 d2. So this part here, I got a FOIL. It should be 6x squared. These two guys gives me negative 6x. These two guys gives me 14x, so that's plus 8x minus 14 minus 3x squared minus 6x. And the bottom just stays. Don't forget to write the bottom, though. Some people are just like, oh, it's just going to stay the same, so they'll just kind of work on the top, and I'm going to put the bottom back in later. When I turn in my test, I'll write it on, but then you forget, and you get the problem wrong because you forgot to write that part down. So if I distribute the negative, and you don't have to show this stuff, but just to make sure we're all clear on what's happening, distribute that negative, so minus 3x squared. Bless you. Bless you. Plus 6x. Keep on writing that bottom, and then finally you can combine like terms. So I should have 3x squared plus 14x minus 14 over, and just leave that bottom like it is. How many had that? Yeah, what's up? Questions? They want you to combine like terms and reduce all the way down. So like this isn't technically a wrong answer, but when you go to put it on the AP test, you're going to want to combine the like terms. On the multiple choice, they'll certainly combine the like terms, so you can match it up that way. Yeah, so the calculus isn't the annoying part, right? Like 2d1 minus 1d2 is no big deal, but then you got a FOIL. It's like a super algebra class, kind of. Questions? Other questions on that? How many on that? Are we good? If you didn't have it, do you know what you did wrong? All right. There's an assignment on Schoology. Answers are on there, so let's work on that.